This is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
Hä? Ich dachte, sie weiß nicht, was Musik ist. Was macht sie da? Was? Was war das, Eike? Das ist ja schlimm.
Oh, whew. Paimon hasn't gone deaf after all. Paimon heard you when you just spoke. Anyway, where is this music?
Ja, eindeutig nicht hier.
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of the streams. These are relaxing sounds. Are they not the music of which you speak?
Okay, zumindest kann sie natürlich Musik. Kennt sie das?
Oh, Paimon wasn't quite done with the description. Okay, fine, it's all Paimon's fault. What we're looking for are not the sounds of nature, but melodies played on special instruments.
Oh. And a melody is?
Haben wir das nicht schon in der letzten gesagt, Eike? Eine Abfolge von Tönen, die zusammen eine Melodie ergeben. Oder Harmonie? Ach komm, wann war das jetzt im Musikunterricht? Ich kann ja nicht mal mehr die... nicht wahr, Eike? Ich kann ja nicht mal mehr die Tonleiter. Kannst du die Tonleiter?
Nein.
Nein. Sing uns ein Kinderlied.
Hey, don't you patronize Paimon! Let's get one thing straight. Paimon knows plenty of nursery rhymes, but Paimon does not sing on demand. Without payment.
Ja, natürlich. Lass mich raten. Die meisten haben was mit Essen zu tun?
Hey, why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before? It'll probably help her to understand what we're talking about.
Hören wir ihn jetzt mal wieder reden, den Traveler? Ich meine natürlich, Eva. Ich weiß. Yeah! Das war irgendwie so.
Das war das Shenhe-Lied.
Ach so, das ist das Shenhe, der offizielle. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Okay. Der singt Bass.
Oh, was that from the opera that Yunjin sang?
Ja, die geht auch genauso.
That was a melody, and melodies can be called music.
It felt like I was transported back to the past. In my mind's eye, I could see the Zhao lanterns lighting up the night sky again.
Ja, das war ja erst letztes Jahr.
We're all there, raising our glasses and drinking to our heart's content on the Jade Chamber. As I watched Yunjin's performance, I felt a warm sensation in my heart. And as the drink reached my stomach, it went from warm to hot.
War sie jetzt betrunken? Ich hätte jetzt nicht erwartet, dass sie Wein trinkt.
When you hummed that melody just now, feelings from a whole year ago came right back to me, as strong as they were on that day. So that's the power of music.
Wow, Shenhe. That was so deep.
Oh, jetzt wird das Wetter plötzlich wieder schlecht. Oh, hoffentlich werde ich doch nicht vom Blitz getroffen.
Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time capsule with all the special moments from our lives squished inside.
Ja, so kann man es auch bringen. Ja, wir wissen es. Musik verbindet. Nein, Quatsch. Musik schafft...
Eine Sache, pass auf mit den Dialogen. Sie machen manchmal sehr lange Pausen von manchmal 3 Sekunden.
Ach so, ja gut. Das merke ich ja. Ich kann ja dann... ich warte einfach ab und dann mache ich einfach einen Drück. Du weißt schon. Klick.
What about you, Ganyu? Are there any melodies that have left a deep impression on you?
I don't remember if my parents ever sang any lullabies to me. I know some local folk songs. And a few other things come to mind, too.
Passender Song hierzu der Szenerie wäre jetzt Zander. La la la.
The songs of the sailors down at the docks. The little ditties that the vendors call out in front of their beloved shops. The tunes of folk artists performing on the streets.
Ja, hat alles mit dem Milieuhafen zu tun, ja.
Yes, that's right. In the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, I always felt that they were worlds apart from me. Nenny and Leoa probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans' artistic expression and their sentiments. So I haven't been able to integrate into their community and be a part of their lives. At least, that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start to realize that the only barriers are ones that I have erected with my imagination.
Ja, wir legen uns unsere eigenen Grenzen auf.
The way those melodies make me feel isn't all that different from other people after all. They're about mundane details of everyday existence. Life's ups and downs, joys and sorrows. Even though we come from different backgrounds and have different stories to tell, when it comes down to the most common things that we see and experience around us each day in the city,
Ja, sie mag die kleinen Dinge des Lebens.
in that sense, we're all the same.
You go, Ganyu! You're really making progress. You have loads of friends in Liyue Harbor when you think about it. Like, okay, maybe some are more like coworkers and bosses. But at the very least, Kuching and Shenna are your friends now, right?
Ja, immerhin.
Yes, I am. Technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional forms of address used among fellow disciples. But now that I know what constitutes a friendship, I do believe we are more friends than co-disciples.
Thank you, everyone.
Once the days are warmer, I would like to host you at my home in the city. Please invite Kuching as well. I've planted many types of flowers. I'm sure some of them will be to your taste.
Ich möchte mal gern ihre Gartenskills kennenlernen.
You are too kind. I couldn't possibly.
Nonsense. You are my friend. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers just as you taught me. Once you've seen them for yourself, I am sure you can advise me how to do an even better job next time.
Ach, stimmt ja, das macht ja Ganyu, wie man es ja an den Daten herausfinden kann über sie, Eike, nicht wahr? Dass sie Blumen züchtet nebenbei, wenn sie gerade arbeitet.
I will save some for decoration. We can feast on the rest.
Then, thank you in advance. Wait, what is that saying again? If you insist?
Do people say that? I'm not completely sure either.
Do you insist? Ist das so ein außergewöhnliches englisches Wort? Oder Satz?
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girls' night out. Eating flowers? Really? Does this have anything to do with you both being the disciples of that illuminated bird?
Naja, Kiching isst ja keine Blumen, oder? Doch. Naja, sie isst ihre, wie war das nochmal, Eike? Sie isst ihre Hörnchen. Die sind ja keine richtigen, wie man ja weiß, keine richtigen Katzenohren. Das ist alles, sind alles Haare.
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that illuminated bird?
Grüße an 6AO.
Master,
Our greetings, Cloud Retainer.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
Hoffentlich wird sie jetzt nicht vom Blitz getroffen.
Double humph. Now she has the
Double
gall to
humph.
use it rather than she. Even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and yet your impertinence has reached new heights. Very well. If you refuse to learn your lesson, one shall scold you no further.
Das war ja jetzt ganz schön lang. Obwohl, ich muss sagen, das unterstützt das Ganze hier. Wird ganz noch mehr dramatischer.
One has received your message from Ganyu. On the matter of the Adeptus you seek, one suspects to know their identity. Well, shall one lead the way?
Ja, danke, dass du gerade da bist. Und ich wette, ich weiß schon, wer es ist.
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory dishes.
Genau, was ist die immer? Diese Pflanzen, oder? Ja, die man bei der Apotheke bekommt. In der getrockneten Form. Ja, dann, ja, frohes Fest.
If you want to release a Shao lantern, come and find us anytime.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Lantern Rite to you too.
Das war jetzt aber sehr nah. Das war jetzt wieder sehr gefährlich nah gewesen. Oh, ja, hast mich jetzt schon die ganze Zeit gewurmt. Nicht wahr, Eike? Ja. Hütchings einsammeln. Was meinst du? Das sind die Blumen, die Ganyu gerne isst. So, wo müssen wir jetzt hin? 1566. Okay. Ach, dahin. Okay. Sehen wir, das Wetter jetzt da ist. Okay, es ist sehr weitläufig. Minze? Ach, Minze habe ich mehr als genug von. Wie sagt man ja, geschenkten Minze schaut mich ins Maul. Nee, Quatsch.
Is this Quaily Plains? Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you ever heard of her?
Ja, da muss man sich mal dran gewöhnen, dass man das SZH wie Sch, nee, Chong spricht, nicht wahr, Eike? Wir haben davon gehört.
Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extroverted in nature and adored social gatherings and inventions alike.
Staub? Welche Art von Staub? Eike? Eike will nicht.
Ja.
Long ago, this region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit her home, reserving for us seats around the largest stone table.
Da läuft einfach der Schatzjäger durchs Bild. Ich glaube, da oben ist sie ja da, dieser Steintisch, von dem sie gerade redet.
Seagazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart. Though usually a mild-mannered fellow, when it came to those collectibles he was so fond of, he always loved to show them off.
Er ist aber sehr, wie heißt es, eingebildet gewesen.
Paimon remembers that name. So that's what Seagazer was like.
He was an old friend and a former rival. One has many memories of him. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor one was content to let him just steal the spotlight. So we would then also present our proudest mechanical creations.
Das machen die Adepten in ihrer Freizeit? Sich gegenseitig übertrumpfen von wegen, was haben sie besser, was haben sie Besseres?
As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments in our respective fields of expertise. As a result, one often quarreled with Seagazer. His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground. How, pray tell, could he compare to me, when every single one of one's accomplishments were crafted by one's own hand?
Welche Hand?
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us during our mutual lambastics. On some occasions, she would join in, and on others, she'd take one of us by the limb and start uttering the most ridiculous nonsense.
Genau, sie stand immer dazwischen und hat geschlichtet, Eike, nicht wahr? Ja, da war doch so ein Bild, oder? Ich mich nicht irre.
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever hope to beat me? Other times, she would make unsolicited suggestions, such as, once you two are done arguing, let's go to the foot of the mountain and grill some meat. She always sought to make everyone happy, and one must say, she had quite the gift for it. No matter what nonsense she said, one never felt bothered or offended. It also helped that she never referred to one as that illuminated bird or Lady Bird.
Lady Bird? Das klingt irgendwie komisch.
Come on, get over yourself!
Ja, wir sind doch schließlich Kollegen. Inoffiziell.
Anyway, just as our impassioned arguments would reach the apex of acrimony, Marchosius would bring his delectable dishes to the table. Who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all immediately drop the argument and prepare the table for a night of feasting and drinking. Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you see yourselves ever enjoying a drink from a square cup?
Ach was, der war ja richtig, wie heißt das, ausgefallen, der Zhongli-Eike, was? Ja, ich glaube, dass dies mich so stören würde.
Then you are most tolerant, but that is its own virtue.
Und dann haben sie wahrscheinlich die ganze Zeit darüber gestritten. Tassen müssen rund sein, muss das sein? Und dann, und dann Osmanthus Wein.
Even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. As we ate, Guizhong would continue to find topics for conversation, filling the table with humor and laughter. Each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinacy. So why was it that whenever we dined together, we always had a marvelous time? We would drink together from a spot high in the mountains, until the moon set and the sun rose, and only then would the banquet finally come to an end.
Leben wie Gott in Frankreich. Quatsch, Lieu.
Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode. The glaze lilies were far more abundant back then. Entire fields of them would appear to the eye as a veritable sea of flowers.
Streetward Rambler?
Rambler?
Jetzt kommt übrigens gleich eine Lawbomb.
Lorebomb? Hat es mit Venti zu tun?
Nein, hat mit den dreien da zu tun. Besonders mit
That
der
would be
Blauhaarigen.
Ping.
Ah.
You probably know her as Madam Ping.
Ah, da war sie wahrscheinlich etwas jünger.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a lovely story and everything, but didn't we come here to find that Adeptus from Mr. Dvorak's story?
Moment, Paimon hat nicht gerafft, dass Madame Ping ein Adept ist, oder?
Or are you saying that it was Guizhong? Didn't she, already,
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precisely that reason. The sights here are a reminder of a time long gone, and evoke much sorrow. One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning with your incessant questioning. No matter, one will share the whole story with you now. In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Guizhong's obscuro vulpus mechanism was superior.
Yay!
Though one was too proud to acknowledge
Bayonetta
it,
ist böse.
in one's heart, one knew that Guizhong was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Guizhong and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Guizhong's opinion, while mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili plains. Guizhong was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetward Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetward Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No. It's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
One has always been austere and private by nature, and has never relished socializing. One's dealings with Guizhong were born out of discussions on the discipline of mechanics.
What? You have loads of friends, and you seem pretty chatty.
Just because one is not ignorant of social graces does not mean one is fond of them. One is perfectly capable of partaking in conversation despite being introverted.
Ah.
But in the end, one is nothing like Streetward Rambler. She is dauntless but thoughtful, not to mention eloquent and wise. Moreover, her friendship with Guizhong was far greater than one's own. Back when they were rivals, they would often compete against one another in the realm of musical composition. That cleansing bell was one of Guizhong's proudest works, having the ability to both compose and perform.
Wait, that's weird. Didn't Madame Ping say she pestered an old friend for that bell?
Ja, wer wird das wohl gewesen sein?
And she also said something about being a vain beauty when she was young or something.
Streetward Rambler, a vain beauty. My foot. That bell has a sad history. Clearly, she refrained from sharing with you the truth of its origins, since the right time had not yet come. As for her old friend, who else could it be? As soon as Streetward Rambler heard that a certain Zhang Li wished to borrow the bell, she realized that the man was none other than Rex Lapis, and that he had made an enormous decision.
Stopp.
Ja?
Ja. Was hat sie da gerade gedroppt? Vor
Das-
Ganyu.
Dass Zhongli und Rex Lapis eine dieser Personen sind und nicht als Drache damals vor, boah, wann war das?
2 Jahren.
Genau, als Drache, als toter Drache da auf dem Platz.
Schon,
da
rede nicht so kompliziert. Du redest wie Drachenlaut. Du stammelst wie Drache.
Ach, Quatsch.
Gerade. Doch, doch. Wenn er da und irgendwie so und ja, da so völlig unkonzentriert.
Nee, was hat sie das jetzt erfahren? Wie wird sie darauf reagieren?